Hi, it's Kat, and welcome back to Kat's Abstract World. Today's video is of Jean Grey slash Phoenix. Essentially, I'm a huge fan of comic books and superheroes, stuff like that. I'm more into DC than I am into Marvel, but I am obsessed with X-Men. My partner actually got me into X-Men. I didn't know a lot about X-Men. I've always been into DC. But when it came with Marvel, I watched the movies as they came out because my dad's a huge Marvel fan. But I never really understood the lore till I got with this guy. And so the past 4 years, I caught up. But I'm gonna be so honest, when I first figured out who Jean Grey was, I feel like she's designed to be overly likable, but she was always one of my favorites. I like the multiple personalities, kind of erratic but smart vibe. And the only Funko Pop I have is of her, and it's cool because it has the comic book in the background of her murdering Cyclops. I feel like it should be a red flag that my favorite X-Men character is the woman that murdered her boyfriend when, I don't know. I just feel like I shouldn't be into that. It's not that I'm into that. That was a very heartbreaking scene in the movies, because I'm gonna be so real with you. I've never read any of the X-Men comics. Cat, I can't believe you. Okay, listen to me though. Be for real, guys. You know I only really read independent comics. I know that sounds bad, but it's if I'm gonna read a comic book, I would rather get a subscription to DC if it's mainstream, and then I just go independent. A lot of the comic books I read are all just independent, and some of them even aren't, but they're kind of better. They're more gritty, and I like when comic book artists have mistakes in their art and it's not overproduced. And if it's overproduced, I want it to be a shit ton of half tones. Oh, I don't even know if I'm supposed to swear on YouTube. Sorry. Fuck. But I'm into all of that. I like it when it's messy and it's in your face. One of my favorite comic book artists, he has his own little series. I'm not gonna say who it is because I don't want them to think that I think their art's bad, but I love it because it's so simple. This one guy, at first I thought that all of his stuff was traced, and then I realized he went for a really old art style. He's a great artist, but on purpose for his comic books he tries to make it look not rushed but kind of scribbled, and I love that. I love that he does that. I love getting into comic books that are more gritty, messy, all of that. Which is why I never really got into Marvel. I liked DC because it was darker. And then Marvel, the only reason I liked it was because of Thor. I don't know. I thought Thor was hot. And I really oh my gosh. Why am I calling myself out on this? I really like Nordic mythology. So, that's why I got into Marvel. And my parents were really into it. Oh my goodness. I just used a liquefy tool in this drawing, and I never realized how huge her cranium was till I fixed her cranium. I still think her cranium's too huge. The hair's too big. But I already did this. I can't fix it. Liquefy's my favorite tool. If you don't know how to liquefy on Procreate, my first ever YouTube video on here is how to liquefy. I had a professor say, "What even is liquefying?" when I commented before in an art class about how I heavily rely on editing tools with my art. And I know that's bad, but whatever. I draw better traditionally anyways. So I do use liquefy to fix lines. And he didn't know what it was. And I was thinking, wow, this man has 5 times the amount of followers than me at this time. He's produced so many books, and he didn't know how to do these quick fix tools. So I made a YouTube video a couple years ago, maybe a year, maybe 2 years, I don't remember, on how to use Liquify because I like cheating. Anything that's gonna get the thing that I want done faster, I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna redo a million lines. I do, but I don't want to, so I liquefy. It's basically like Photoshop but for your art. Like you're turning your girls that you draw into Kim K with it. I was just so stunned. I was like, how does he not know what this is? But he also draws traditionally and then outlines it digitally. So I understand why he wouldn't know this because he draws on paper first. I think that's cool when people draw paper and then they go on Procreate. But I'm gonna be so real with you. I do it, but I don't. Like I will sketch something out and then I'll put it as a hidden layer because I think it's ugly, and then I'll go over the sketch that I did on paper. But that's if I doodled something on paper and I want to bring it to life, which some of my drawings recently have not been like that, but in the past they have. Like my first year of art, you can tell that I used to do that. I used to doodle in my sketchbook, and then I would go in and private layer, sketch out, do line art, so people didn't see how awful it was. But now I'm at the point where I don't care if you see the rough lines or all the mistakes or the changing of the poses. I can't fix it. Like, it's my process, so I just show everything now. But I used to not show, like, any of that. Do other artists do that? I don't know. I used to be, like, not ashamed, but I used to feel like I wasn't a real artist. So I used to, like, try to make my speed paints quick, and I'd do anything to make it just kind of done with. I was always embarrassed. And anyways, you should also check out my Instagram. It's Cat's Abstract World. We're at 28,000 of you. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye.